Code Red, snow day. Enjoying this time off. Got so much paperwork to catch up on, so much things to do. Always appreciate a little bit of extra time to work on the things that I need to do. But I'm sitting here, trying to figure out why is it that people, especially people close in your circle, will turn on you. And, I'm like, I don't think it has anything to do with the individual. Sometimes God will remove people from your life that have no business being there. If you're intended to grow, become successful, and basically carry out the purpose that God has for you, there are some people you're going to have to let go of. You can't hang on to the old neighborhood, to the old boyfriend, the old spouse, anything that has become a bad situation for you. In order to grow, you're going to have to let go of those things. So back in the day when people turned on me, they like, oh, I don't want to talk to you or this. I'm like, oh, what did I do? Oh, please tell me. Let me fix it. I'm sorry. But now I'm like, okay, that's God. That's divine. Because if you ask God to put you in a particular situation, the dogs. If you ask God to put you in a particular situation, you're going to have to trust and know that whatever evolves is for your better. It's to make you better, and it's to get you to the next level of wherever it is that you need to be. Like I have friends, they watch you, and some of them support you, right? Maybe I just have the wrong circle. Maybe I just been traveling with the wrong pack, right? Some of them want you to do good. They success, they celebrate you, all these things to make you feel empowered. But some of them like, why are you doing that? You're doing too much. You talk too much. You do this, you do that. Those are the ones that you need to let go, because sometimes people say things with a smile, but remember, they always thought that, and they always wanted to say that to you. They just kind of had to find a way to navigate it in without making it seem negative, So sometimes I just tell people, look, I'm not willing to move at your pace. Your energy is lower than mine. Your vibrations are less than mine. So I need to move on so I can do what God intended for me to do. And that's going to require letting people go. But don't even look at it as a bad thing. Growth, sometimes growth hurts. Blessings sometimes are painful, but that's because God is putting you in a position to be where you need to be. So this season in my life, this year in my life, what I used to look at as negative and adversity, I just say, thank you, Lord. Thank you for protecting me. Because what if I would have traveled on that path for another 2 to 3 years? Who knew how the situation would have turned out? So never, ever, ever be afraid to change. Never be afraid to go in the direction that God is pushing you. Because sometimes we run out of the burning building, and then, we turn around and go right back in there when the blaze is just burning. That's because we have a hard time of letting go of that stronghold that the devil, put on us, So we have to be mindful, and we have to be discerning. And I pray for wisdom all the time. I pray for God's wisdom, because when you have wisdom, you are going to be outfitted to make the best decision. Because if God is standing behind that decision, it can't go wrong. So basically what I'm learning is never be afraid to let go of what God is pushing you away from. And growth does not happen when it's easy. My preacher would always say, there's no glory in easy. There's no service in easy. How are you giving service and sacrificing if it's easy? That's your comfort zone. Growth happens in the wilderness. Just think about the children of Israel when they were going through the wilderness. Moses was growing because I know everybody was just complaining and he had to deal with all these people, but growth happens in your wilderness. Your wilderness could be you lose your job, you lose a loved one in a relationship, your car break down, the finances are good, are not good, the kids acting crazy. That's the wilderness. That's when it's time for you to take hold of all those lessons and think about Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for allowing me to experience this. Thank you for an opportunity for growth. Always look at adversity as an opportunity of growth. And you have to be mindful. You have to be prayed up and stayed up, always ready to do what God is laying on your heart. That's the only way you're going to succeed. So when people walk out of your life, let them go. Open the door for them. Pack their stuff for them, because you're never going to grow if you're holding on to those strongholds that are taking you down. You were never going to grow. I look at being lonely. Loneliness to me is just basically growth. God has moved everything, every distraction out of your way, because it's time for you. Got work to do. And God was like, nope, you don't need to be there. You don't need to be there. Nope, you don't need to be over there. You don't need to be over there. I'm putting you right here, because while this is your season for growth, I'm going to isolate you from everything that has held you back. I'm not going to put you in a relationship. I'm not going to let those friends destroy you. I'm going to remove that person. I'm taking them away, and I'm taking them away, and I'm going to put you way over here, because you got work to do. It's time for you to grow. So always remember, sometimes isolation, looks like depression, but it's not depression. It's pruning. It's pruning season. God is forming you to do what he wants you to do. So count it all joy. Count it all joy is what I can say to you, because I have been there, and I am not saying anything that I have not experienced, but I'm learning. When people come in my life, don't keep them around too long. It can only be 1 or 2 days that they intended to be there. They dropped the message or something that you were supposed to get that you wouldn't have gotten any other way, because we all have a purpose. And God speaks to us through his people, the word, and circumstances that go on in our life. That's how God communicates with us. So just be ready to just accept it. Pray for wisdom, pray for discernment, so you will never find yourself going too far on the wrong track. 2024 is your year, is my year, and we all going to get what God has in store for us, because nobody's name on it but ours. Our name is on it, so it's not going to no one else. And if you don't give it to the world, then the world will go without. Caroline Wagner said that, and I'm like, man, that's really deep. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has something to do. And if you don't deliver to the world, then we go without. So be blessed. Pray for wisdom. Pray for discernment.